Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we are back out at the Georgia Museum of Agriculture working on the steam locomotive project, and happy to say that we're getting some line boring done on the cylinders to get them bored out so that we can put sleeves in them. This has turned into quite an ordeal. You know, one of those things you think it's going to be easy, and it turns out it's not so easy. And just a little bit of the backstory. The guys came out and started on this project, I don't know, it's been quite a while ago now. You know, they were kind of anticipating it was going to take them a couple of days to bore this thing out. And yeah, they've had problems. They're getting it done, but they have had problems. And mainly the biggest problem is that the machine that they're using over here is really just a little bit on the small side for the job that we're doing. It's really kind of pushing the limits of the diameter that it'll bore, and it is getting the job done, but they've had to do a lot of trial and error, a lot of making adjustments and stuff to get it done. They got one side done. It took them a lot longer to get that one side done than what they had anticipated, and then they honestly had another job they had to leave and go work on, and now they're back, they're working on the second side, and we're hoping that this side's going to go a lot easier, a lot quicker, because they learned a lot the first time around. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going on, the process here they're doing, and talk a little bit about some of the problems we've had and where we're at on this project right now, but getting it done. So first off, guys, the company that's doing this is Superior Line Boring. They're right here in my area of South Georgia where I'm at. They're right here in the county. So this worked out really convenient that we didn't have to get someone to come a long ways to do this. And they typically do more work on like repairing bulldozers and buckets and stuff like that where you need line boring. And again, their machine they're using is probably a little bit light duty for the job they got. It's rated to be able to do the job, and we're getting it done. But again, they've had some problems and challenges along the way. But anyway, if you're interested, this is the guys that are doing the work. So this is the rig they got here, guys. This is a little portable line boring setup. Basically, they can bolt this on to whatever they need to line bore, and you have a line boring rig that you can just kind of take with you and set up on a remote site rather than having to take it into a shop. And in the case of our locomotive, it was all too big to bring into the shop, but we could do the machining in place using this system. Now, this thing's really loud, and I apologize. I'm trying my best to talk over it. But again, you got the bar that's going up through here. There's a cutter in there. I'll show you that here. So you can see the cutter going around and around in there. And right now you can tell it's kind of skipping on the bottom. That's where the wear's at on this locomotive. So just cutting around, it'll eventually get it all done. When they set this up, they came in with a dial indicator and indicated off the counter boards on either end of the bore, which were relatively unworn, and we're able to kind of get lined up and centered on that. And now they're cutting right down the center of what was originally done in this. Now, as far as feeding it goes, you can see the little eccentric here just wobbling back and forth. That is a little ratchet system that goes to this screw that comes out the back. And that little tail piece there is tightened onto the bar. So basically what is happening is as it's working, it's turning that screw and that's pulling the cutter in. And they can stop and readjust that as they need to go as deep as they need to on the bore. But that's how it feeds in and out. And then to adjust the cutter, they basically just have to loosen it up. They use a dial indicator to see how far they're moving it out, and move it out and reset it and make another cut. You can kind of see looking up here on the other side. Right now they're literally roughing out. They're making pretty heavy cuts, and as they get closer to the finish, they'll make lighter, finer cuts. But right now they're just trying to get some metal cut out of there. And you can see again where that wear is in the bottom of the piston, where the piston's gone back and forth. It's worn out, kind of egg shape. It's got more wear in the bottom because of the weight of the piston. And you can see it's kind of not cutting there right now, but as they go deeper and deeper with the cut, eventually they'll get that all cleaned up. I'm going to step back a little bit, and hopefully the noise isn't quite as bad over here. That unit is a little bit noisy, but like I said, it's getting the job done. The bar on this particular boring rig is 1 3/4 in diameter, and really for the size bore that we're doing, which we're taking it up to 11 3/4 inches, is the final dimension that we're shooting for. Ideally, you'd have a little bit heavier duty bar than what they've got here. Probably a 3-inch bar would really be more appropriate for this, and that is kind of some of the problems that they had to begin with. In fact, I really haven't shown any of it because we've just been trying to get this job done, but I had to make a new piece to hold the boring bar because the one that was in there was just too small for the diameter, and they were getting an awful lot of chatter on it. So we actually made a new piece that clamps on there, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the original one that clamps onto that bar, that piece right there, and there's a slot in it with a groove there that a boring bar will clamp into, and again, you just kind of move that up and down. This is the original one that came with it, and it's just a little bit too small, again, for the diameter that we're cutting. So I actually made one that was a little bit larger in diameter and longer, a little bit stouter, and that made a big difference. We also kind of made a piece to go on the back side of that where it was kind of rubbing around, and he's going to turn the machine off to make it easier to hear, but where it would kind of rub going around, and that would kind of take some of the chatter out as well. So right now, we talked about that feed mechanism, so he's pulling that bar out and he's retightening down that collar, and that will just allow that to continue pulling the bar through. So again, that's that little adjustment I was talking about. And he hasn't adjusted the bar on the inside at all, the boring bar. He's just adjusting the feed mechanism right now as it goes through there. Now we're turning it back on and kind of continuing on with that bore. He's got an air hose here. It's kind of just, it's got it going real light, and that's just blowing the chips out as it cuts so they don't all get down in the bottom of the bore. So this is the first cylinder that they bored out, and we're honestly having to do a little bit of work to it after the fact. When they did this, they kind of had to stop halfway through on that final cut and move some things around, and when they did, the diameter on one side is just a couple of thousandths larger than the other side. So I've been taking a big cylinder hone, and we've been honing this, trying to get that straightened out where we have the same diameter. I actually just came in here a few minutes ago using a big bore micrometer, a 3-sided bore micrometer, and I mapped it out. I measured it every inch. It's 23 inches deep. I measured it every inch and got a diameter so I can kind of see what I need to do. And this side closest to me needs to have just a couple of thousandths honed out of it to kind of get it uniform. But we're real close to having that where it needs to be. And once we do that, I think we can slide those sleeves up in there. And once they expand and lock in, I think we'll be good to go. So while he's boring over there, I've been honing over here. I've got a sun and hone. This is just a 4-sided hone. Hopefully you can see that. We're just kind of going back and forth inside this bore, trying to open it up a little bit. Been taking some light oil, using some little lubricant in there. Taking a break from the honing here. Guys, I apologize for the noise. This is not a good environment to be filming in, but I'm wanting you guys to see this and just doing the best I can. Just kind of cleaning that out a little bit. To measure with, I've got this Sky-Mic 3-sided internal bore micrometer. This one measures between 11 and 12 inches. And I just want to see if we're taking anything off of that. I'm going to measure this outside area here. I have my initial measurements that we started with. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of feeling, rocking these back and forth and making sure that they're nice and tight like they need to be. Too dark for me to see right here. I'm going to get the flashlight and blow it out on screen for you. Sorry. All right, we have increased the size of that bore by about 1/1000 of an inch. And I've still got a ways to go, but this is working. So we're going to continue on honing. I got about 5 thousandths I need to take out of this end down here. Once we get past about right here, it's pretty uniform. When we get down to this end, it just kind of tapers in a little bit. So I'm really kind of concentrated on this outside edge. But we're making progress. It's going to take some time with the hone. We'll bring you guys back after a while. And again, apologize for the noise. We're doing the best job we can. Well, it looks like the boys are through. They've packed up and gone, and we got a nice bore over on this side as well. You know, it's not a perfect bore, but I think it's going to be plenty good enough for what we're doing. There's a few little marks in there or whatever, but again, I think it's going to be fine. I did get my bore micrometer and go through there and measure it, and honestly, on both of the cylinders, and I don't know exactly how to explain this or why it's doing this, but on both sides, there's a little bit of a taper. It's a little bit bigger on the front than it is in the back by several thousandths of an inch. But I don't think that's going to be a problem because we can make the sleeves, when we turn the sleeves, what we'll probably do is put a step in them, which is the way a lot of the sleeves were done. A lot of times when they bore these bigger cylinders, not so much on this size, but the bigger cylinders, they would purposely bore a step where it was smaller in the back and bigger in the front. And it just makes installing the sleeve go a little bit easier because basically you can go about halfway in before you start getting real close on the measurements. So it just makes it easier going in. But once you get in there, you got a tight fit in both of the areas. And I think what we can do is we can turn where we kind of have a little step in it to compensate for that. The cylinders are going to be, or the sleeves are going to be several thousandths of an inch larger in diameter anyway. We'll put them in nitrogen, shrink them, and install them, and then they'll kind of swell back up and have plenty of interference. So again, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to talk with the guys that are making the sleeves, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. These guys, I think I mentioned before, I can't remember if I did or not, when we were filming the other day, they had lots of trouble with this setup. Their boring bar really ideally needed to be a little bit larger than what it was to really do a good job, and they were getting a lot of chatter at first. We actually made some little supports to go in there that took some of the chatter out, and that helped a bunch. But yeah, they struggled with this job. But in the end, again, I think we got something we can work with. I got the measurements. I mapped both of them out, and we'll be getting with the guys doing the installing the sleeves a little bit later on on making them where they'll fit right. I did take the hone here. This is a Sunnin Model AN hone. You can get different arms and different frames in here for different diameter bores. I think it can go up to like 21 inches in diameter, this particular one, with the right arms and stuff. I can't remember how big that one there will go. It'll go a little bit larger. We're at 11 3/4. I can't. I think it will go up to like maybe 14 or something on this particular setup. So anyway, I honed the other side, which just kind of took out a couple of little rough spots in there. The taper that's in it is very. I measured it every inch, so I went in there and marked every inch when I was making my measurements, and mapped it from one side to the other. The sleeves or the bores are about 24 inches long, so we mapped them from one end to the other, and we're getting good measurements. So again, I think it's going to be fine. Anyway, I thought I'd show that hone. That worked out pretty good. So guys, that's pretty much where we're at. I know this video is a little bit different. Trying to film in the field sometimes can be difficult, and I know we really struggled with a lot of the noise and stuff that was going on, and really didn't get into kind of the details that I normally get into in my videos. But hopefully you kind of saw a little bit what's going on with the boring. And like I said, my next step is I got to get up. We're working with another group that's going to come out and actually make the sleeves. They're going to come install them and help us put all this back together. I've got to kind of get back into my office and where I can get all my measurements figured out and get that information relayed over to them and talk with them and come up with a good game plan on getting the sleeves made. Hopefully we'll be doing that before too terribly much longer. This boring really kind of set us back a little bit on this project. It took a lot longer to get this done than what we really anticipated. It took the guys who were doing the work a whole lot more time to do it than what they anticipated. But it's behind us now, so now we can move forward. All right, guys, with that is a wrap. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are always greatly appreciated. Please hit that bell icon up there to get notifications when new videos are posted. As always, a huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, and YouTube memberships. And with that, we'll get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. Again, as always, thanks for watching.